On the 92nd episode of the HatTrick Sports Podcast, we are going to be talking about the MLB season finally underway. We have some March Madness news and updates. We're going to be talking about some college football news, along with ranking the favorite W flavors. And we're going to be ending it off with some Hall of Fame, yay or nay. Make sure you use code HatTrick Sports when checking out at w.gg for 10% off your order. Roll it! Welcome to HatTrick Sports, starring your host, Isaiah Carpenter. Bringing you the biggest sports headlines every week. This is the HatTrick Sports Podcast. Dude, let's start off with some MLB news. MLB news, the Yankees, holy cow, yesterday was March 29th. At the time of this recording, it was yesterday, but March 29th, the Yankees scored a whole bunch of home runs. There's just a lot of Yankees news right now. I mean, I just can't keep up with all the Yankees news right now. Let's start out from the cause of all this Yankees cluster. First of all, let's talk about the Yankees bat. So I got a wood bat right here. So basically, somebody in the front office of the Yankees organization that's like super smart, way smarter than I am or you, basically found out that the sweet spot of a bat is right between here, basically. That is not what the front office decided. Everybody knows that the sweet spot of the bat is between right here, give or take. And what this Yankees group, employees, statisticians, I don't really know what they're called, they basically found out that the sweet spot where all these Yankees guys are hitting are like pretty much right here. So they're missing the sweet spot, but they're still getting, I mean, these guys are strong, these guys are big. So what they decided to do was make that sweet spot right here and basically move it along here right to the logo where the Rawlings logo usually is and have that sweet spot right there. So it kind of tapers off on the ends of the bat. And it's an interesting thing because it's obviously legal. Nobody's arguing that it's not legal. They're finding ways to get better, which I like. But at the same time, it's like a baseball, you're supposed to be kind of adjusting to the game, not having the game adjust to you. You know what I'm saying? So like in baseball, you're supposed to hit it right here. So keep it right here. Don't move the barrel of the bat right here just because you guys can't adjust to over here. So that's just my little thoughts on it. But when that came out, when everybody was talking about that, the Yankees hit 9, I believe, what was it? 9 home runs, I believe. That game that they were talking about all this, and it was announced that the Yankees bats were kind of juiced in illegally. I'm gonna call it legally juiced. They went off. They hit like 9 home runs. Yeah, the Yankees hit 9 home runs. The first 3 pitches against former teammate Nestor Cortez. It was boom, 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 3 pitches, 3 home runs. I don't know what you're thinking. If you're a Brewers fan in that moment, I mean, 3 home runs against the former teammate is absolutely wild. It was Aaron Judge, Paul Goldschmidt, and Cody Bellinger. Aaron Judge goes off, home run, leadoff home run, first pitch of the game. Everybody goes absolutely crazy. Second pitch, second at bat, Paul Goldschmidt goes up, bam, another home run, and then Cody Bellinger hits the 3rd home run of the inning and the 3rd home run in the 3rd pitch of the game. What makes it great is that it was against Nestor Cortez, who was the former teammate of these guys. Yeah, but Judge hit 3 home run, his 9th career grand slam, a 2-run drive in his 40th multi-homer game, and 3rd with 3 home runs. He finished with a career high of 8 RBIs. The Yankees ended up winning that game 20-9. It was an absolute blowout. It's an embarrassment for the Brewers, especially for the first series. It was their 2nd game of the year, and now they are 0-2. It's just an absolute embarrassment. Austin Wells, Anthony Volpe, Jazz Chisholm Jr. all also had home runs on top of those 3 guys. But yeah, Cortez, I mean, my man, he was a fan favorite in New York, and then obviously got traded in the offseason. But it all starts because all those were barreled up right here instead of right here. So it makes you think, are other teams going to try to do that? Are other analysts, analyticalists, whoever's in charge of all that? The science behind baseball is advancing at an incredibly increasing rate. and it's cool. I mean, I'm not mad about it. I'm just kind of, I wish that you didn't have baseball adjust to you and you adjusted with the game, but whatever. I mean, you cannot be complaining about it. The Yankees are just on another level. I mean, sure, they're not on 5-0 Dodgers level, but they're just on another level. If you guys are watching on the TikTok live right now, make sure you follow if you have not followed already. But yeah, Judge 3 home runs and 3 RBIs on March 20th. Absolutely crazy. 9 home runs is just crazy. But on the other side of the AL East, you have Rafael Devers. I mean, he was in some controversy just a few weeks ago because the Red Sox signed Alex Bregman, and guess what? Devers and Bregman both play third base, and they can both play the DH spot. And Devers was basically like, no, I was here first. I'm going to play third base. You're not going to put me at DH. And then they had him in the front office apparently had a long discussion about it. And then he came out basically saying, oh, fine, I'll play DH if I have to. I'll do whatever I have to do to get the win, whatever, blah, 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 blah. So it was a whole thing. So Alex Bregman's been playing third. Rafael Devers has been playing DH. But guess what? Rafael Devers has set a record at DH, not one that you should be proud of. 10 strikeouts in the first 3 games. That is averaging over 3 strikeouts a game. Not good. No bueno. No bueno for Rafael Devers. He's the first Major League player to strike out 10 times in the first 3 games of the season. He went 0 for 4 with 3 more strikeouts Saturday night in Boston's 4-3 loss to the Rangers, including his last at-bat in the 9th inning when he swung and missed at a 92.3-mile-an-hour cutter. Oh my God, you're swinging through 90-mile-an-hour cutters from Chris Martin. Devers is 0 for 12 this season. So far, again, this is being filmed in the early afternoon of March 30th, so by the time this comes out, it may be a little bit different. But the 10 strikeouts broke the previous record of 9 in the first 3 games, which was held 5 times previously since 1901. I mean, yeah, Devers, this is kind of what you get. I mean, this is kind of a karma type situation. Hey, you didn't want to be the DH. Now, it's kind of biting the Red Sox in the butt, too. But, yeah, you didn't want to be DH. Guess what? You're not going to be performing very well. You are not helping your cause. I mean, put somebody else in DH. I mean, I would say put him at third and Bregman at DH, but guess what? Devers will still have to bat, so it's not helping his cause. The Red Sox are not doing as well as I thought that they would this season. I mean, again, we're only 3 games into the season. You can't really tell anything. But I thought the Red Sox were going to be a powerhouse team, or I thought they were going to be 4. I thought it was going to be Yankees, Dodgers, Mets, Red Sox, and not looking so much like it. Again, at the time of this recording, we're only 3 games into the season. Can't do much complaining right now. There's still 160 more games left to be played. This is just early thoughts in the MLB season. What else do we got? We got the Dodgers. The Dodgers are officially have their World Series ring. They did the World Series ring ceremony the day after they beat Jack Flaherty, who helped them win the World Series, also helped them not win the World Series. I mean, mixed emotions from Jack Flaherty as a Dodgers fan, but if you take a deeper look into these rings, it's actually really cool. I like these a lot more than the 2020 ring, which I actually have right here. Should have brought it out, but too late for that. But you see on the kind of front end of the ring that there are palm trees that are supposed to be kind of like with the city of LA. I really like that. And then you have the iconic Dodger Stadium sign with the player's number in it. So obviously each player gets their own ring, the number with the diamonds in it. And then if you take it from the other angle, you have, it says Los Angeles with more palm trees, the alternate Dodgers logo with the baseball shooting out of it, 2024. Homage to the home of the Dodgers right there. Then if you look on the inside, not like when you open it up, but on the inside finger part of it, you see the postseason logos and final scores and series wins and stuff like that. You have the 5 diamonds on the back of the ring. You have 5 diamonds on the back of the ring that represents the 5 runs the Dodgers overcame to win the World Series in the 5th inning of that game 5. I mean, I watch highlights of that game, I feel like every day at this point. I feel like it comes up every day at this point. And then on the inside back of the ring, you had the player's unique signature, which I think is cool. These are a lot better than the 2020 rings that the Dodgers got, which I'm not complaining about those rings, but I'm just saying this is a lot more advanced. And then on the inside, you can open it up. On the inside, it's a piece from the base used in the World Series on the front flap. Again, I'll pop a graphic up. You have 34 sapphires to honor the late Dodgers pitcher Fernando Valenzuela, who died in the postseason last year in October. So I really like that. I haven't really seen anything like that, but I really like that. I kind of wish they did something like that for Vince Scully, and they may have. I just don't realize it. But then you have the Dodgers City Connect uniform logo on the inside where that base is at. You have the Dodger Iconic Stadium on the inside of the ring. 8 diamonds symbolizing the 8 World Series championships that the Dodgers have had. Commissioner's Trophy celebrating the 2024 World Series. It has the trophy on the inside. Year dates, 1983 and 2024. Paying respect to the 142 seasons. And then the moment you have all been waiting for, on the very front of the ring, you have the sunburst shape that represents the sunny climate of LA. I mean, it hardly ever rains in LA, let's be honest. You have 8 diamonds symbolizing the 8 World Series championships, 4 on each side. So I really like it. I really like how much they incorporated in this Dodgers World Series ring. I mean, I'm biased. I'm going to be honest. I'm biased towards the ring. I love the ring, but I like how much they did to the ring. I mean, between the city of LA, the Fernando Valenzuela stuff, to the postseason records on the inside, to the players' signatures, to the City Connect logo, to the base, to the amount of World Series. I mean, just everything. They did a great job with that. Jostins, or whatever it's called. They just did a really good job on it. I'm proud of them, and I'm pleased with how they did with them. Yeah, so that's basically what everything means on there. At the time of this recording, the Dodgers are 5-0. They won the 2 games in Tokyo, and then they have won 3 games straight and swept. They swept the Tigers in a 3-game set. So now they are 5-0. The last time the Dodgers were 5-0 were in 1981. You know what else happened in 1981 for the Dodgers? They won the World Series against the Yankees. And then they also won in 88, and then 2020, and then 2024, and then in the 60s they won some, and in the 40s and 50s. Yeah, they've won a lot, let's be honest. They have won 8. I think this is their 8th World Series title, maybe 9th. But yeah, so it's just, hey, I'm seeing a little bit of, hey, you're 5-0. The last time you were 5-0, you won the World Series. You haven't lost a game in the World Series. You don't lose the last game. I'm just saying, it's too early to call it. The Dodgers are only 5 games deep, but it's fun. It's fun. It's fun watching the Dodgers win. Their pitching not looking so good so far. Again, we're filming this on March 30th. I'm sure they'll kick it in maybe a little bit later. But Roki Sasaki is still adjusting. He had a bad outing. Let's be honest. But think about it. If you are a great pitcher, you have high expectations, you're going to move to a different country across the world. Again, high expectations. You're in LA. You're in the heart of LA. You're adjusting to everything. You're adjusting to the language, to the country, to the culture, to the team, to the league, to every single little thing. He's got to adjust. You got to give him time. You could see he was getting a little bit emotional in the dugout after his outing. But hey, he's just adjusting. Let him adjust. It's not going to be overnight. We saw Yamamoto do the same thing last year. Just let it be. Just let it work out. Let it all work out, and it'll be fine. But yeah, the pitching not doing so well. They're kind of like the Chiefs, where they're super good and dominant, but they're only winning by 1 or 2 runs. But hey, 5 games in, we're overanalyzing it. Let's be honest. As Dodgers fans, we are overanalyzing every single little thing right now. But I'll take it. We're 5-0. Let's make it 162-0. We only need, 157 more wins? Then we complete the perfect season. But let's talk about with nationally televised games. So you have Apple TV, you have Peacock, you have TBS, you have Fox, you have all these different things. The Dodgers have 21 nationally televised games, and you have White Sox and Angels fans complaining that they have 0 nationally televised games. Guess what? The Dodger fans should be the one complaining, because guess what? Dodgers fans have MLB TV, where you can watch any and every MLB game except for the ones that are nationally televised. So for your White Sox and Angels fans, you can watch all 162 games on the platform that you paid the same amount of price as the Dodgers fans, who get to watch 20 games left on that platform. Instead, now the Dodgers fans have to get Apple TV, TBS, ESPN Plus. I mean, all this different stuff, and so. Yeah, if your team sucks, your team sucks. It sucks. I mean, let's be honest. But the Dodgers fans do have something to complain about, and that is that the games you just have to go through all these different networks, and to have the 21 different national televised games on. So again, not a huge problem, but I was just like, hey, White Sox and Angels fans, stop complaining. I mean, you guys can at least watch I know you guys don't want to, but you guys can at least watch all 162 games of your season. And you don't have to worry about them being blacked out. Let's move on to MLB. So the MLB has concluded, obviously, we're in the regular season. They have concluded their spring training experiment, if you would. The ABS, the automated ball strike system. And I was looking through some stats. Let's make sure that, we're not getting too ahead of ourselves. Is it actually helping the game? Too much time? You guys have been trying to... There's just a whole bunch of questions that go along with this. So, there's a whole bunch of stuff that are going on with this. So, what I have found is all the stats of the ABS system in all 288 games that it was being used. So the Major League Baseball, the teams won 52.2% of their ball strike challenges during spring training, during the robo-ump the advancement of the robo-umps. Catchers had markedly better success than pitchers. I mean, the catchers, they got to learn how to frame. It makes sense. I mean, the catchers are the strike zones. The catchers try to alter the strike zones, if you will. Major League Baseball came out Wednesday and said that 617 of 182 challenges were successful in the 288 exhibition spring training games used on the automated ball strike system. The batters won exactly 50% of their 596 challenges, which, I was expecting that number to be a little bit higher. I mean, you're a batter. It takes a lot of balls to tap your head knowing that you only have 2. But the defense won 54, with catchers successful 56% of the time, and pitchers only 51% of the time. But I understand pitchers have these egos. Pitchers have hey, I know that was a strike, but guess what? They're 60 feet, 6 inches away from the strike zone. I know you've been pitching thousands on thousands on thousands on thousands of pitches in your life, but let's be honest. Let's not have an ego where you're costing your team one of the head tops. But teams challenged 2.6% of called pitches. Offense asked for computer reviews for 4.4, and the defense 1.6 of total pitches. The ABS system was in 13 spring training facilities, and obviously a few of them share, like Camelback Ranch with the Dodgers and White Sox. 19 home teams, hosting 19 home teams. I think it was cool. I think that was a cool experiment. Rob Manfred saying that he has to go through all the player opinions and what their thoughts on everything was like that. But the ABS system could be coming to the MLB regular season as soon as 2026. So that's next season. Now, I've heard 5 years ago that it was going to be this season. It's just going to keep getting delayed, which I'm fine with. I'm fine with the regular umps. I don't think it affects the game that much. I like... not sponsored or anything, but MLB umpire scorecards, the Instagram and Twitter channel. I really like that. I like seeing I like seeing the umpires and what the umpires are thinking and doing in every, where they're calling pitches, where you have the catchers framing. I don't know. I just like that. People say baseball is boring, but if you look at all that, it's really not that boring if you really think about it. But I say it was a success. I think the ABS exhibition thing was a success. Challenges. Umpire test, success. I think they'll do it in spring training next season. Have it go up to AAA. Have AAA do it. Spring training, do it. Exhibition games, do it. Even in the All-Star game, do it. I mean, I think it was a huge hit. Let's move on to March Madness. So in the middle of this podcast right now, we have two teams already making it to the Final Four, and then you have four teams fighting for it to try to make the other two spots in the Final Four. Again, by the time this comes out, those games are going to be done. But you have Florida and Duke, the 2 1 seeds, making the Final Four, and then you have Auburn, Michigan State. One of those teams, I have Michigan State winning that, going to the Final Four. And then you have Houston, Tennessee, and I have Houston winning that, going to the Final Four. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, so you could either have Florida, Michigan State, or Florida, Auburn. It could be, now just hear me out. Yeah, dude, it could be all 4 1 seeds make it to the Final Four, which would be amazing and shocking. But, I don't think that'll happen. I think Michigan State's going to beat Auburn. That's what I have in my perfect bracket right now. And then I do have Houston and Duke in the Final Four. And then I have Houston, no, because I had Clemson. So I don't have anybody going into the championship. But I have Florida going to the championship. So Florida's got to beat either Michigan State or Auburn. Just a little update. I mean, it's too soon to speak. It's kind of hard to speak about it just because there's 2 games still to come this afternoon. And then it's just timing issue. It's a timing issue. I can't talk a lot about March Madness. Florida, I could talk about Florida beating Texas A&M. Texas A&M was up by 10? And then in the final 6 minutes, Florida came back and ended up winning by 5. I mean, Florida's just that team. Florida is going to the championship and it's going to win. I'm rooting for Florida. I mean, I'm rooting for Florida just because of my bracket, but they're also a good team. It's fun to watch Florida play basketball. I would like to see Houston and Duke. I think that'll be a good game. And honestly, I think this Auburn-Michigan State's going to be a good game. But again, by the time this comes out, that game's going to be done. It's a timing issue. Stuff expires, and then stuff's too soon to talk about. That's the life of the podcast for everybody talking. A weekly podcast, it's hard. It's hard for expired content and content soon to come. So that's just a little update, but that's a little March Madness update. Final Four coming at you soon, starting on the 5th? Yeah. It's going to be exciting. Exciting times for March Madness. All right, let's rank let me move these. We got to set up for our next segment. We got to set up a whole lot for our next segment. So, let me grab these cups without spilling them. All right, short intermission. We are going to be ranking Dubby flavors. So I have 4 Dubby flavors. All right, this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be ranking Dubby flavors. All right, so basically what we're going to do is I have all of them right here, all labeled, ready to go. It's one of the best energy drinks that you can get, and you can get it for 10% off if you use code HatTrick Sports. The flavors that we have are mango orange cream, passion fruit, blue raspberry, and sour green apple. So we are going to be ranking them. I have them each here. Going to be ranking them here. This will be 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are not in order yet. But let's try it off first with sour green apple. That's a good one. Sour green apple's a good one. I like sour. It's not super sour, but it's sour enough to give you energy. You know, it's a good flavor. Sour green apple's a good flavor. Well, one second. One sip, everybody knows the rules. One sip, everybody knows the rules. It's good. It's a solid one. I'm going to drink some water to try to cancel that out. Sour green apple's solid. All right, let's move on. Again, we can't really rank anything right now. We've only had... So right now, sour green apple's in first. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sour green apple's in first right now. We've only tried sour green apple. Let's try blue raspberry. Blue raspberry. It has more flavor. Still, it's extremely good. One sip, everybody knows the rules. It's like sugary. I kind of like it. It has that sweetness kind of flavor to it. Yeah, blue raspberry is going to go in front of sour green apple. I really like it. I really like the blue raspberry. So that's it first. Sour green apple's in second as of now. We're going to switch it up a little bit maybe. Next, we have passion fruit. We have passion fruit next. Passion fruit's good. Is it better than sour green apple? Yeah, yep. Passion fruit, not as good as blue raspberry, but is better than the Granny Smith green apple. So that is going to go at the second place as of right now. Let's drink some water. Safe to say I'm going to feel energized for the rest of the podcast. There's no jitterness or crash when it comes to W Energy. It's all great stuff. It's better than the average like energy drinks that you guys drink. This is just, and it's just so good. It just tastes great. You guys can get it for 10% off at w.gg using code HatTrick Sports. And then the last one that we're gonna try once if everybody knows the rules, mango orange cream. It tastes good. It's like I'm a fan of orange mango tasting things, but is it better than sour green apple? It's mango orange cream's in the 3 to 4 spot, but we have to figure out if sour green apple's better. I think sour green apple's better. So it's still great. Calio cream, mango orange cream, that goes in the 4, but it's still a solid flavored energy drink. So again, all of these in order. We have blue raspberry, passion fruit, sour green apple, and mango orange cream. Those are the orders. They're all great. You can get it at w.gg using code HatTrick Sports. Again, I recommend the blue raspberry, but they're all just absolutely delicious. And again, like I said, you could get it cheap. You could get it for 10% off using code HatTrick Sports. No jitterness or crash afterwards, whatever. You will have plenty of time to stay up for all these March Madness games that are so dumb overlapping. And yeah. Make sure you get W Energy using code HatTrick Sports for 10% off your order. Let's reset this up for the rest of the podcast. But that's your rankings. That's your rankings. All right. Let me know. We are live on TikTok right now. Has anybody tried it? Has anybody on the TikTok used code HatTrick Sports to get 10% off on W Energy? Again, make sure to follow if you have not already. But W, it's great. It's absolutely delicious. And there was my rankings. All right. Let's move on to college football. Deion Sanders, it's prime time. Deion Sanders signs a $54 million 5-year extension with Colorado. Colorado coach Deion Sanders has earned a 5-year, $54 million contract extension. It runs through 2029. It makes him one of the highest paid coaches in the country. His base salary will increase to $10 million in 2025, making him the highest paid football coach in the Big 12. And it would he would be one of the top 10 highest paid football coaches in the country. He would be paid $10 million in 2025 and 2026, $11 million in 2027 and in 2028, and then a record $12 million in 2029. If Sanders accepts another coaching job before the end of his contract, his buyout starts at $12 million for the rest of 2025, followed by $10 million in 2026, $6 million in 2027, $4 million in 2028, and $3 million in 2029. He can retire from coaching, though, without having to pay damages to the university, as long as he doesn't then return to coach somewhere else. So, I mean, what a payday for Deion Sanders. It's not like he needs it. I mean, his son's not going to be playing there. I kind of like that. He's not just going to coach his son and then quit coaching. He's going to keep coaching even when his son's in the NFL and stuff like that. So, shout out Deion Sanders. It's prime time. I mean, what a payday. What a payday. I was thinking about this. So, you have the Packers, who are a publicly owned, they're publicly owned through stocks. They have over 500,000 shareholders in the Packers. But imagine a professional sports team, whether it's MLB, NFL, NBA, NHL, whatever, you have fans all around the world that are like, dude, why is the coach calling that? He should have called that. Why is that play like that? Why did he put him there and him there? You have it all the time. So what my idea is, and it would never ever work, but it's an idea, is have basically kind of like the Packers. You have as many shareholders as you want. Make it a publicly owned team. You can make it the fans. You can make it the Fanatics. You could literally make it the wherever the team would be located. Let's call it let's make it a baseball team just to make it simple. Let's put it in Nashville. Make it the Nashville Fanatics. And basically, you could have it publicly owned. You could have as many shareholders as you want. Let's say you have 500,000 shareholders, each priced at whatever. It doesn't really matter. But those shareholders vote on every single thing that they do. So they're going to have, it's going to kind of be like, it's going to be like a regular team. You're going to have like, a representative as like an owner. You're going to have a representative as a GM, even down to concessions, to field crew, to the production, to the coaches. Every single thing other than the players would be fan run, and you would and those 500,000 shareholders would vote for who the owner would be, vote for who the GM would be, the head coach, even down to the janitors, to the concessions, to the production. I mean, every single little thing would be run by fans. I mean, fans would run this team. That is what would make it the Nashville Fanatics. I think it's not a bad idea. I don't think the team would be any good. But again, you have millions of fans across the world that are like, dude, why is the coach putting that guy in? It's just an idea. I had a dream about it the other night, and I was like, hey, this could work. This probably couldn't work, but this is a cool idea. It's a cool idea. So let me know if you think it would work. It's a way for also fans to make money off of their teams. It's just an interesting idea that I had. Just have a publicly owned team, but every single little employee is a fan. I mean, you do what you love, right? I mean, I think it would be a cool idea. It would never work, but it would be a cool idea. All right, let's move on to my favorite segment, Hall of Fame, yay or nay? All right, Brett Gardner has been in the news lately because of the unfortunate passing of his son, and it makes you look back at his career. I've seen a whole bunch of highlights, a whole bunch of plays from Gardner's career. He's only a one-time All-Star. He won the World Series, a Gold Glove. He played for the Yankees for his entire career. He didn't really have a retirement. He kind of just faded out. He led the league in stolen bases and in triples. He had 10 triples. He also led the league in sack flies, including sack bunts with 13. He wasn't a Hall of Famer, let's say, but he had a career 44.3 wins above replacement. I mean, that's a quarter of an entire season. So no, he is not a Hall of Famer, but looking back at his career, he had an amazing career with the Yankees. I know this news is a few weeks old. It's a nay. He does not belong in the HatTrick Sports Hall of Fame, but I mean, what a career he had with the Yankees. I mean, you just cannot deny that. So it is a nay, but he was a great guy. He was a great teammate. He was a great player. He was a great athlete for the Yankees. So it's a nay, but he did a lot of great stuff for the sport. So thank you guys for watching the 9-second episode of the HatTrick Sports Podcast. Make sure you follow us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. You can listen wherever you listen to podcasts, including YouTube for all the visuals. Again, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbeam, wherever you find podcasts, you can listen to this podcast. And we will see you guys next week for episode 93.